let's hit it. 04. Cylinder 5 glow plug, cylinder 1 glow plug. Ooh, cam position sensor. Cylinder 1 contribution balance, cam and crank codes. So good thing I checked it, because if you have 336 or 341, you will not be able to run a power balance with those codes in. So nope, does not have it. Okay, so it's actual 04 strategy. 0.87, broken record syndrome. Here we go. Ooh, 11. Oh goodness, we're gonna have to hope 48 in the Fickum. Let's just get right to it, because I don't really want to mess around and run the batteries down. Okay, 84 at the bottom, and Fickum power, we don't want anything under 45. Let's kick it off and back on. Fickum staying up. 46. Here we go. Oh my god. Okay, right now we're all right. It's actually running, but that's because batteries are almost dead. We actually, ooh. All right, so number 1, there it goes, just cleaned up, kind of. 1, 2, and look how high 7 is. I mean, 7's probably just trying to pick it up. Wouldn't count 7 as being trash, but I mean, I'd really consider 1 and 2, because if 2 was healthy, when 1 drops down, 2 would go way sky high if it was healthy. You run with the injectors for a prolonged amount of time, it will wear out the injectors, what do you call it, sequentially in the firing order. All right, we had to use a little bit of 4-wheel drive. Really doesn't sound too bad. That hub's a little sticky right there, kind of. So battery charging, a little bit. It has been sitting. It's been sitting for a good minute. But the moral of the story is the truck is safe, and it's in one piece, and nobody has tampered with it. So right now we're gonna load up the burn barrel, because we gotta get this crap out of here. Have you all ever tried to burn oil-soaked oil dry? I mean, it burns good for a minute, but it never goes away. So do a little before and after. We'll see what happens. We need to talk to Don about getting another logo thing. He's been buying logos. McCowan Farms. Y'all know McCowan Farms? You will. You will soon. Freaking nasty. Okay, let's pull out here and let's see how she does. We might have a hub locked in right now. Feel a little bit of rolling vibration going on. That passenger side hub really didn't feel that good. It was hard to spin. Coolant just dropped, so that means thermostat's sticking a little bit. We haven't saturated with oil yet. We're not all the way heated up. But the fact that the coolant dropped back down and it brought the oil up to it, let's see where it goes now. It's matched up at 186. I mean, I don't know if we were planning on an oil cooler or not, but them little bastards are about $400. But maybe ever since I've been bagging on Ford oil coolers on these videos, we're all crazy if we think that Ford doesn't watch the online community for what they can get out of the Ford oil cooler. I'm gonna do my part to try to get them to change their price. There's no use in paying $400 for some good seals, because that's all we're getting. I mean, the oil cooler's not horribly bad, but as I'm sitting here right now, their track record has laxed. So my comfort zone was shoving a Ford oil cooler in a truck. I would rather ride with the oil cooler that was in it, because it might be better than the one that we're putting in it. As far as manufacturing process, as far as the welds on the heat exchanger itself, because something is failing on the Ford ones. Just got on the interstate. 04s don't have a boost cage, so I just made him really mad at me. I mean, turbo, we can crack it apart, clean it. We almost always do. But it actually appears to be good. I mean, that's a gamble, because I've been burnt more times than I've won by not cracking the turbo apart, and then within a couple of months, it'll like squeaking when you fire it up, because the unison ring is metal on metal. And so I have been burnt in this very scenario right here, but also there's only so many times you can crack that turbo and clean it up before there's no more material left for it to seal. So I don't take it lightly. I don't just crack open every turbo that we possibly get our hands on and hit 25 pounds. We can make that decision later into whether or not we're gonna crack it open. Something's going on. It's probably just the hub locked in, but I can't catch it on video. It feels like front passenger is what it feels like. I gotta throw in, I appreciate Joe dealing with how long it took to get to the truck, because we've had this truck for a good long minute. We're up now, front and center, here we go. It's a bummer that everybody has to wait so long. I appreciate the heck out of everybody waiting. That's beyond awesome. So let's try to ensure that we continue what we have done in the past in the future, or get better in the future. That would be the biggest bonus if we could manage to do that. Which, if you guys watch the excursion time-lapse video, I mean, things have changed a lot since those days. A ridiculous amount. So let's hope things keep changing for the better. Just a quick heads up to McCowan Farms. We're working on the video right now. We did a 6.7 dash in it. It's pretty cool. Out at Don's shop. I don't know whether to be jealous of him or kick him in the balls, because that shop is awesome and he's worked hard for it and he got it, he earned it. 226, 190, we're 36 degrees. There goes number one. I'm gonna slow down. Oh, you feel that? That was making noises. Felt like rumble strips, what it felt like. Okay, we probably got the 04 tie rod syndrome going on up there. They're known for bouncing and clattering around. Rod sounds just like it. Or these also are pretty bad at shock bushings. You feel that? That was not the road. So when we come down to a stop, there's a pretty good vibration on this. Oh man, this is all broken. Doesn't even have a wand, does it? Oh, look at that, we're getting it. Carrying a screwdriver around. And fix the car wash, I guess. I want to use this one, dang it. But honestly, there's a car wash 400 feet away, and I don't want to get the floor all wet because of the outside. Look right here. See that? See that? That's dirty. Dirty, dirty. And under the hood is disgusting, so we're going to do that real quick. Oh my God, this one's damaged too. It ain't meant to be.
There's a quarter stuck in that one too. Yeah.
Really? Throw that on the ground. That ain't even worth washing your car with. I guess it's going to be a freaking ordeal to get it clean, but we're going to go ahead and do it. Man, I'm not absolutely convinced that we don't have a torque converter chatter going on when we're slowing down. It chatters really bad. All right, let me throw a little bit about this battery cover right here. I understand covering the PCM connectors, but that, I mean, it just lets all this nasty crap stay underneath the cover of that battery. I can't bang too much because honestly, the thing started after sitting for all that time out in the field. So you can't clean it without taking the cover off, and you can't take the cover off without taking the lines off. I mean, that's why I get rid of them, so we can keep the batteries all clean. We would have cleaned it in the bay if it was a non-runner, but I don't have to get the power washer out. I don't have to get the floor wet. Normally I don't go to the car wash, but sometimes we do because it makes more sense. I mean, it really does. So truck's all clean. Got a lot of the stuff off underneath there. Let's get this flush done. Those of you that have watched these videos, you know what the hillbilly head gasket test is. The procedure right now, we're gonna catch as much as we possibly can, hopefully all of it. Loosen the radiator petcock a little bit, let it release the pressure. You could get burnt here. So when you do this, just take a 19 and lightly, it's plastic. So let it drain, it'll release the pressure. Now, once all the pressure gets released, it will eventually form a vacuum. That will stop draining while there's still coolant in it because the rest of the system is sealed. And once that stops draining, then you can go under there and you can pull the block drain and you won't get a drop on you. That's how we release the coolant during coolant flush. All right, so let's take a look under here. I cleaned the bottom of the bell housing just in case we wind up putting a strap to hold the transmission up in case we yank the engine. But this is where we getting excited and we get in a hurry because it's still draining right there. Because you take that off and you are going to take a bath. Be patient. In case you're wondering, this is what I use to pull the block drain out. 5-inch extension, 5/16, half-inch drive Allen. It'll crack loose when it comes loose. So from this point, I actually take the ratchet off and I hold it right here. And then if you run your finger right here on the tip, that's the fastest way to do it. Don't look like a rookie up there trying to find the block drain. You know where it's at, and you put your finger on the end, and you run a finger, you find it, and then you put that in. Okay, right here, it'll stay in there, right? It'll stay in. If you really want to get out of the way, you're going to grab the skid plate for the transfer case with one hand, and you're going to spin that with the other hand, and you're going to pull yourself out as that sucker goes. So let's see what happens. I'm going to have Julie record it. Here you go.
Yep.
All right. It's pretty much done. It's down to a trickle, but it will actually, for most of it, if there's no leaks in the cooling system, it will actually stop. So right here, see, now I'm pushing it in. You can see I got my pinky on the end of the extension, holding it in. And then in order to keep the plug in the socket, go sideways. Can you see what I'm doing? Watch this, go sideways. Look, loosen it, ready? Take it sideways and get out of the way. Just like that. Look, I got a little on me, not much. Now, if you look underneath it while we take this off, we release the vacuum, now everything's gonna flow. So now we're gonna fill it with VC9. Gold coolant normally when it's good is clear. That looks like, that might actually be gold coolant with additive in it. Good gold coolant's actually clear, almost clear. It's got a slight yellow tint. It starts to get that discolor, darker color when it gets older. So, you know, he got his money's worth out of that coolant too. So we'll just, but it's also got a junk oil cooler. Another thing right here is disconnect your heater control valve if you're going to do a flush. Watch this. See, you pull the line off, heater control valve goes out. I'll give you this fancy little spot right here to put it. So why don't we use it? The control valve is open, letting everything flow. Okay, I do it sometimes. I forgot to take the petcock out. Loosening up is not enough. Spin it till it starts coming out. Reach up like a bat out of grab it, pull it out. All right, kill the water. We only got 4 hands, so hold it here. Just blow through it. Watch down there. Then we'll put the block drain in and we'll blow through it one more time to get the radiator out. Then we'll put VC9 in it. Hour and a half. Hour and a half drive. You watching me?
Yep.
Yeah. Are they timing me?
Maybe.
Maybe. This must be one of them long-winded block drains. That took forever, didn't it? Takes way longer to wash your freaking hands. Now we'll hit it again. That first little bit you blow in, you will blow tank seal out the radiator. So gradually, now we're just gonna keep blowing. See anything coming out? 2 quarts, AC9. Just pour it in there and top it off with water, no biggie. Those of you remember how it looks whenever we get done with the job. There you go. First use parts. The whole job, there's nothing. Okay, this was a little thing Bulletproof Diesel put in years ago, and they made sense. Okay, right here, the bubbles will never ever stop when you have compromised head gaskets. They will constantly all day. You will never fill it up. It's normal when you're filling it up for bubbles to be coming up, but not that many. So that goes back, I mean, Bulletproof Diesel actually found a bone on their little idea then, because it's true. You know, the bubbles will keep coming, but you don't have to run the jar and the bottle and all that crap they do. You can do it just like this. This is gonna puke a lot of coolant on this coolant drive because it's all the way full. So, yeah. All right, let's try to twist that hub. We're gonna make sure to get this unlocked right now before I go on this drive, and we will see if that is the vibration. He's got it, good deal. So they're both free. So now let's see if that vibration was hubs locked in. Find out right now. It's raining too, so the mud underneath the truck is gonna be cleaned off, hopefully. And I just washed it, and it's raining. I got the grime off of it that was on it. Now all the grime we're gonna put on it, so here we go. Okay, Julie made me lunch, so I gotta eat and drive, but I just felt the chatter. Maybe we'll knock some mud off of this thing underneath it. Got VC9 in it. It's 11:30, so kind of gotta just go drive. Most of the time we let the customers do this. They'll do the drive. It's a little cheaper, honestly, because we don't have to do it, but I like it when I can slow down enough to actually take time with each truck, hang out with it for a while, get my mind wrapped around the little quirks of the truck. There's just things like that little chatter right there. I mean, if we yank this engine out, we might think about torque converters are not that expensive. Just throw another torque converter in it. If the engine comes out, I might actually even pull the torque converter anyways, even if we don't, to pump fluid out of it so we can get fluid change. I've done that a lot. I'm not sure if we're gonna do it on this one. Haven't had any discussion about the schedule of the job. I don't even know if we're taking the engine out or if it's just head gaskets, lifters, or if what's on the table, but so let's just drive. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, this thing actually, it's making a lot of kind of chatter, gear whine. Hear that? No, could be drive shaft. Could be a lot of stuff. I mean, we'll get under and look once it's that drone that you hear. If it changes pitch when you turn like this, then that would be a wheel bearing. Anything's possible. I'm running back and forth doing coolant flushes, trying to vary the coolant pump impeller. If you really want to know what the heck I'm doing, I'm trying to vary the velocity of the VC9 chemicals inside of the coolant passageways. And in turn, while I'm doing that, I'm constantly listening to this torque converter that I'm wondering if I need to consider towing it home. You guys hear it? That is not the rumble strip. Whatever, okay, god dang it. Slow down, relax. I get it, be safe. Okay, now watch this chatter when it comes down. Watch this chatter. Oh, I'm on the highway. I gotta do it off the highway. Okay. You guys hear that? Could be drive shaft, yeah. It doesn't change with the turn of the wheel. Doubt it's a wheel bearing. Could be rear end backlash. Honestly, it's hard to tell where it's coming from. I mean, driving down the highway, you know, it could be coming from the front passenger and it's actually, you know, the car next door. I don't know. Oh, it's a little shaky, but it rides good. So I got about another half hour and 45 minutes in this thing. So it's a good time to get to know it. There's something loose on this door. It's just, oh my goodness. So it'll break a hole in the door skin and the bolt will just be flapping. I thought I heard it. We'll see. It's a quick thing. It's no sweat. It takes a washer. Oh, right there. Did you hear that chatter? Okay, this chatter when we slow down, that's what has me banging on this torque converter. When it slows down, it chatters like you're letting out on the clutch or like you're pushing it. It chatters. I don't know a lot about transmissions, torque converters, all that. I've never built one in my life. Just put another torque converter in it, right? I mean, now, like I said, I'm not going to be able to tell you which one to get. I have absolutely no input on that, and take whatever comments come up as whatever you make a decision. If we want to do it, I'm just throwing options out. That's what I'm constantly doing. That's all we ever freaking do is throw options out. I mean, we're going to look at the drive shaft. We'll put the front end up. The brakes are kind of, watch, ready? Well, we've done it a couple of times when we do a coolant flush and then we'd forget the heater control valve, and there's nasty crap inside of the heater core. And well, since then we disconnect the heater control valve and then we'll blow through. For this job, if the engine stays in, there's 17,463 steps, and I'm on step 67, so we're getting there. If somebody wants to watch, like I said in the comments on that 125-hour movie, then I can give you every single step. I really feel that we could sit here right now and I could go through the steps while I'm driving this truck down the road. It's pretty cool. But it sucks to not be able to turn it off. Let's just do this. We're going to loosen it up and probably catch a hospital visit. I'm staying close. It's raining. I figured, what the heck? Go in, release the coolant pressure, fill it up again. That way we do not drain the VC9 yet. Easier on the radiator and everything. Even though it will probably build the pressure right back instantly, we're going to release it right now. We don't need an hour and a half of it with all that pressure. Leave the temperature in it. We'll throw a little bit more water in. It'll be hot water. It dilutes down the VC9 a little bit, but it's an important part of any job is preparing the coolant passageways for a new oil cooler. I mean, it's important. Okay, so I didn't show you that, but it took 2 solid gallons before it actually starts coming on again like that. Fill it all the way up. That way everything is getting touched by the chemicals. We need to keep it full. So let's go drive some more. We are about out of fuel, which is good. I mean, let's let it run down. We're going to change filters and we're going to take all the lines off and take the fuel pump apart and everything anyways. So let's run the fuel level down a little bit. If there is anything in that tank, let's get it the heck out of there. If this is SCT tuned, we need to go back into the tune and hit locked in CT in the transmission settings, because you'll like it. Jeez, stuck behind everybody. There's the fuel stop right there. Quick, $30. Yeah. I'll probably let a little bit go and then catch it. And then take a sample every single time, so you know, from that point, it's done. We're not done. But if you need to know how to do the second flush, rewind it and watch a little bit of the before.
We want it to just barely be coming out the top of the bottle.
All that nasty crap. And that's hot water. Coming out clear? By doing this, you do this twice. There's no reason for a coolant flush to take longer than 3 hours. But there's also absolutely no way to get it done earlier than 3 hours either. I've tried. Not and get good results. Just got done driving. Drain this out and do the water and blow it through one more time. This is the last chance for foreign particles to get trapped in this oil cooler. So We're gonna go ahead and get the flush done, get red coolant in, and I'll probably go do maybe a drive or something. It'll be the last ditch effort. Then pull it in here, drain the coolant, get the cab off, get the heads off, let's go. Here's our flushes. We went ahead and ended there and blew it out. So we got the original VC9 and 2 flushes. When they don't change like that, I have found that we could go all day doing flushes and they will stay right there. So what you could argue is that if it doesn't come clear like that, do another VC9 flush. Now, that gets a little redundant right there. We could VC9 flush this thing and we'll never even do the job because we're VC9 flushing it. Cab off, here we go. I'm gonna drive it a little bit first, like I said, to cycle that coolant. Have a good day. Well, here we are. Just a guy going to work. Joe's truck from Oklahoma. Let's pop the hood and take a look here too. Here you go. Little bit of missing right there. Remember that number 1 cylinder yesterday? Not too bad. So it's not a bad idea to just have a video like this where we just firing it up like a guy going to work, because I want to know how the truck is, got to know its quirks. Best way to get to know a truck. Drive it home. Plus we got 50 extra miles just driving here yesterday that we wouldn't have got if we wouldn't have drove it home. So now we got to drive back in. It's about 30 miles in, so I got 80 miles. In a perfect world, we'll have 5,000 miles put on these trucks after the VC9 flush with the old oil cooler in it. In a perfect world. The green coolant takes about 500 miles to protect the engine block. And this EC1 with no silicate, it takes about 5,000 miles for it to protect the passageways against cavitation and rust. That's why we always try to get coolant in. Even if we're gonna take the truck directly apart, I will fill that truck up with coolant and need be go drive around, do a quick Bay City and back run or something like that, so all the coolant circulated, and I will drain that coolant right back out because it leaves that coolant residue inside the engine block. I don't wanna leave water residue. Now we just got an extra 100 and some odd miles put on the truck so that this old oil cooler can catch as much crap as possible, and we're going in right now, cab off, engine out.